everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are working with the Haunting collection, printable collection from Traci Reed Designs. It's her release for October and it's totally Halloweeny, so it's so fun. I have picked out a few of the 4x6. I printed them out of the the decorative journaling 4x6 cards. They come in when you get the downloads, the 4x6 have the orientation vertical as well as horizontal, and I'm going to be punching them out with a 1-inch punch. And I'm also using, she released a collection of cut files. So I have the I Want Candy. Is it hard to see there? There we go. I Want Candy. It's this way, and there's also one where it's attached to a candy wreath made with little icons like this. And I thought about using that one as well, but you can have just the text itself. And so I just cut that one out. I just thought I could make a wreath myself, which is why we're punching out the circles. And then to take it a little bit further for this layout, and actually it's going to be picture free, because the candy is what speaks for itself. Okay, so that's my thought process. So we have a lot of candy in our house always, and I've collected a few of the wrappers from ones that we eat, some that, you know, Toots likes more, ones that Daddy likes more, and ones that I like more. So that's kind of the story. And I thought you could do it with, you know, pictures of the candy, but I have just been intentional after I wanted to use this cut file to save a few of them as we've enjoyed them in the house. So let's get started. Okay, so my first step is to go and punch out the 1-inch circle punches. I always love my circle punches. They're the ones I have the most sizes of, but I now also have the dies as well because I don't have like a 4-inch punch, you know, for a circle. But this way I was able to use as many of the pattern papers as I can. And I did this for the ones I had pulled already, as you saw. But once I started laying them out in a circular wreath shape around the cut file, I realized I wanted to have more like colors from the kit. So you'll see me start thumbing through the rest of them to add in a little of that apple green color, a little of the extra purple, a little of the pink, and that way it was a definite rainbow wreath around the whole edge of the rainbow wreath around the edge right there. So like you can see, I was mostly like the orange, the black, and the white, and that like blue tealy color, but I was like, no, I need to add more color. So here I am kind of going through the rest of it. I had already made a dent in this collection simply because I did a cut file of the pumpkins and backed it, but I just didn't film myself doing any of that. So that way, that's why you see some of them already have holes and kind of things missing. I didn't do any of the ones that had white as a background because I knew I wanted them to pop off of the white background itself. So having it with a white background I stayed away from, but I definitely added the pink, the purples, the orange, and the apple green, and that looked much better to showcase the collection further. So I just used that bowl that you saw me put there as like a guide to making this be as circular as possible, because once again I don't have a size this shape this size, and so I made sure to have it about 3 inches from the top and 3 inches from the bottom for the cut file, and then use that circle dish that I usually use just for water when I'm painting as a guide where the bottom of the circle shall fit when I start attaching all of them. I do take the time to make sure that some of them overlap and some of them don't, some tuck behind and some don't. What I also did right there, what I'm showing, is that once I done adhering it, I went through and added stitching. I have my sewing machine out right now and I leave it on my other desk, and it makes me definitely aware of throwing some stitching once in a while. So I did it with orange thread. Then, to kind of grunge up the background a little bit more, I have these mark making stamps from, they are Stamp Anonymous, but Tim Holtz is like the co-creator for the grungy look. So one is just kind of like grungy text, one is like scribbly line, that's a scribbly line one. And I'm going in with just a green, like an apple green, black, and orange ink color. These are from Close to My Heart, just to kind of add a little interest, as you can see. And now I'm going to start adding the candy wrappers around my wreath. I had a few large ones like the Hershey and the Reese Pieces ones, so I needed to make sure that they had the most like room to be at. And I am totally okay with all the texture that they bring, and I am totally okay with them overlapping. wherever they can. And I had to use my tiny attacher because I knew that with this kind of what is this, a substrate, like the packaging, it's a waxy finish, so I knew that double-sided tape wouldn't stick to it. I knew liquid glue probably wouldn't work either, and so my whole thought was just like, well, I'm just stapling all of these down, and so that's what I did. So each of them has about 2 or 3 staples, so I'm totally okay with all the texture. I'm totally okay with it not being flat. I'm almost known for having my files, my layouts not be so flat, and some of the texture does get crushed once it's in a page protector, and that's okay. So it's a quick and easy one. Like I said, I'm not going to add a photo, but do I add journaling? I think I add just a little bit of journaling, but I think I did it more because it speaks for itself, to know, which candies are Valentina's, which candies are me, and which candies are Daddy's. Valentina's definitely into the lollipop phase. She likes the Nerds, the Tootsie Rolls, so like the simple candies, believe it or not, and she likes the Smarties. Like the candy that everyone else tosses is the candy that my daughter enjoys. But we both like the Reese's Pieces. Daddy is the Airheads, Daddy are the Turtles, and Daddy is milk chocolate all the time. So it's fun, and here I am just adding a little bit more around the edges wherever it was still too white, and gluing down with liquid glue my cut file, and that is a wrap. I hope you found this inspiring. Try it yourself. Okay, that will wrap up my candy layout. I've never done anything like this before, but it's kind of fun. And you saw me use the staples because I knew that glue would just not work on this like plastic wrap, so I had to just use a staple. So some of it has to stay a little bit higher than others because my staple does not reach in there. But for the sake of having, Valentina's favorites, my favorites, and then Daddy's favorites, it works out perfect. So Halloween's approaching. Save your wrappers and do something similar, and go to the links down below for the rest of the YouTube hop, as well as where you can get this collection so that you can play either with the papers or the fun cut file. Thank you so much for joining. Please subscribe if you are new to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up, and until next time, bye!
Tight in the dead of night, I watched a ship crash into my